So welcome to the another session of Info Central. So we were learning last time we were discussing about different mobile settings and also discussed different company settings and texts. We have gone deep dive into the RBP and all. We discussed some a couple of queries you had. Okay, so that we have discussed. And regarding your query regarding that people means how to customize that. Your employee profile or the people profile. Okay, so
Yes.
that we'll be learning in the upcoming sessions that I have parted for. There is a topic you can
Okay.
see configuring people profile. In that we'll discuss. We have some few questions in that, right? How to
Yes.
customize some specific settings for different type of people. How to control that. That is a
Yes.
different topic. So here we'll be learning those how to configure a people profile. Okay, so that
Yes.
in the unit 4 lesson 2 I will explain you that. Okay.
Okay.
So regarding today's topic, today we'll be focusing more on the data part. Okay, so like whenever we are talking about SAP Success Factor managing user data. So you are in the now unit 3 lesson 4. Okay, so the
Okay.
managing user data. So whenever I'm saying user, ultimately it is the employee, right? Whenever in Success Factor, right? So how you're going to manage those user data file? Because if you are say on premise, how you manage it? Can you share you some experience? How you manage the user data, employee data, bulk data I'm talking
Um,
about.
you mean in the on-premise?
Yes, in the on premise, how we do it?
Okay. Trying to remember understand your question. I think
Let's say I'll simplify now then. Suppose you have to bulk update. Let's say 20 people's new 20 new hires you are having instead of going through PA40 or PA30. How will you be doing that? Otherwise, let's say I'll be giving more simplified
oh, oh
questions.
yeah, I think I would do a fast entry.
Yes, that is an option. First entry is an option.
Yeah.
Otherwise, other options we do have like your LSMW or BDC, right?
Yes.
So those are the different tools we had in the on-premise. Similarly,
Yeah.
we have something called UDF. Okay, so I'll just
Yes.
highlight the terminology. UDF is a very popular terminology when
Yes.
it comes to the success factor. Okay, so this is we will be learning in this chapter, in this lesson, how you'll be managing the UDF file, user data file. Okay, and
Okay.
how we'll be editing that, and it is much simpler if I compare to the on-premise one. In the on-premise, you have to take a help from your ABAP developer for the initial days. They will be implementing, they will be rather creating that BDC. If you are LSM2, then you can, as a functional consultant, you can also create LSMW. And also we do have fast entry for specific transaction, not for all, but for specific transaction info
Okay.
types, we do have fast entry option. So in this regard, whenever I'm talking about user data file, or we call it UDF, we'll be learning here how we'll be managing that UDF file, as well as how we will be importing and exporting those files, success factor. Okay, so that details we'll be going through. So when it comes to data, what are the things you can do? You can see here, we can export data, we can change. Suppose you would like to change certain things in the employees for 20 to 30 employees. So you can download that, you can export that file, you can change, and again you import that file. It is as simple as that. Okay. So how we'll be
So
doing? Yeah.
so let me understand.
Hmm.
So assuming I have
Hmm.
maybe some data fields I need to change in, is it in the front end or in the back end uh,
Huh.
for the UDF?
Yes, it is actually a template. Okay, so it's, you can think of it like a BDC or LSMW template. Okay,
Yeah,
so in a particular template, you have to fill upload data in a particular format, right? So
yeah. So I'm just trying to understand the overall principle. So if you want to modify information, you
mhm,
download that into a file,
mhm,
modify it in that file, and
mhm.
upload it again using the UDF. Is that what it is?
Yes, yes, exactly. So whenever
Oh
I'll be
wow.
showing the demo, you'll be understanding more, much better.
Okay.
So
Okay.
basically, it is nothing but a comma separated file, .csv file. If you see, Okay.
Yeah.
So using this file, you can update your data, whatever employee
Okay.
data is required. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just change that and you can update that again in the system. Okay. So we will be learning this. I'll just not go into those theory, all you can read it, but rather I will show you in the system whatever the screenshot you have here we are having, so that it will be much simpler. Okay. So with that context, we will be now going to, this is how a typical UDF file will be looking like. This is from this document, but I will be showing in the
Oh,
system as well how it looks like.
yeah. That's,
And there are certain fields we do have, just like in LSMW or BDC, we can create our what are the columns required. Okay, but UDF is actually, it is directly given by SAP, so they will be having certain 11 fields, whatever the fields are required. They will be clearly mentioning that these are the different required field. That means mandatory field like first name, last name, gender, email, username, manager, time zone. Okay, these are the couple of fields which are we are having, which is a mandatory or required field. Okay.
are those across? Those are across the table, or those are across the columns? Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Those are actually basically the columns only. So we'll be
Okay.
seeing all these things. Okay. And
Yeah.
how you'll be doing that, that we'll be learning now. Okay. So this is regarding your concept of UDF. Yeah. So now, which I will go, let me show you in the system. There are so many things. I'm not going through all this detail, but in the system per se, whatever required, I will tell you. Okay. Now I'll be logging into, can you see my SAP screen, success factor?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let me now, not this one. So I will go to the first admin center. After going to admin center, you can see manage employees, right?
Yes.
Inside manage employee, we have something called update user information. Okay.
Okay.
If I
Okay.
click that,
Yeah.
I will be seeing, although I have already made those favorite, but otherwise you can have option. One is called employee export, another is import employee data. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So these are the
Yeah.
two options we do have. Suppose I'm going for, let's say, import first. Let's see, import employee data. If I go to that particular link, you can see like we have option, select an action you want to perform, and in the below section we do have select an entity, choose file, file encoding, English United States, this is locally given. So here, before importing a data, you'd like to have a template, because without template you can't do anything, right? So template also, there we have option, you can see download template. Okay.
Yes.
So in the SAP HCM, we don't have that kind of options, because we have to create always, we have to store that template somewhere in our system, and we don't every time you have to, whenever you're updating, you have to refer that template. So, but in SuccessFactors, everything is in the system itself. Suppose I have to check the template from the system itself. I can download the template. Suppose I'm doing for the first time. Okay. So this is the download template option. So for different entities. So what are the entities in SuccessFactors Employee Central or is a platform? These are the different entity we do have. You can think of it like your, suppose say for info type 105, we do have a BDC or LSMW. Similarly for
Yes.
another info type, say info type 8, you are having a different template. Okay. So those things you must have stored in somewhere in the system whenever you're doing the upload in the on-premise. But in the
Oh,
success factor, for everything you do, we do have a template already inbuilt in the system. Simply
okay.
you have to check those entity and download that whenever you are doing for the first time, like your addresses. For addresses similar to our info type 6 BDC or LSMW, here we do have a template for your addresses. Okay. Same goes with the other entities for Employee Central or the Success Factor platform. Up to this, it is
Yeah.
clear. What is the purpose of this?
Yes. This can this list be added to,
Uh,
or this is a fixed? These items here are fixed.
this is a fixed list. So download, these are the template already available. Okay. So here, let's say I'm going for an option, let's say personal information I would like to have. Okay. So again, it is not fixed again. Suppose I'm choosing for personal information, file or
Yeah.
encoding, it should be always, you can put your Unicode only. If you're using
Hmm.
some other countries like your Chinese, Japanese, that you can go for other option. But by default, we use Unicode. And here again, what are the fields? So it is not like you have to fill up everything. Suppose you want a minimal information, not every information you want to have this field. Okay. Suppose you would like don't want to choose for marital status and all. So only thing is also MPhil is not required. Okay. Only what
Yeah.
selected field
Yeah.
you whatever the fields are required, you can generate those kind of template. Okay. So like this is the house of such a flexibility is there. Okay. So after doing this, simply click this generate template option. Okay. So if I click generate template, automatically it will save in my system. And you can see it is a personal import template underscore my company ID. So do
Yeah.
not change anything in the name of the template. Keep it as it
Okay.
is. Okay. Do not
Okay.
change anything in
Yeah.
the template. Simply I have to save it. After saving it, I will now just open it. So what are the fields you have chosen? Accordingly, that those specific fields will be appearing in this particular template. Hmm. So you can see like these are different fields we have chosen. Okay,
Yeah.
event
Yeah.
date, first name, first gender, whatever. Okay, so now what you can do, let's suppose you are having 30-40 employees. Okay, so simply you have to fill up this. So we have both the title, like here, suppose I am having two types of name here. One is your technical name. First one is a technical. Okay, so these are all
Yeah.
success factor specific. You can think of it like your ABAP field in your
Yes.
BDC. Okay, there's the
Yes.
field name, table name, all those. But in the
Yeah.
below section, you have a simple name like your actually the English name, person ID, subject, visa started, operation. So many things are there. Okay,
Okay.
so it will be guide you to how to fill up this template. Okay, so whenever you're working for any kind of data migration during your cutover activities, this
Yeah.
template you can share with the customer and they will be filling it up for you. Then you can upload that. Hmm. And on the
Okay.
after post go in this post go live, you have to train them like to the admin, employee central admin or the HR admin. They will be learning how to fill up this template and they can put it, upload it going forward. Okay, so in this way you
So
have to,
so
yeah.
yeah. So at the beginning, you showed me that in the document where
Hmm.
there are 16 or so mandatory fields.
uh, yes.
You remember that? Well, where
Yes,
you said
yes,
there will be.
yes, yes. That is actually a different exercises. Okay, so if you go that template, right? Okay, so that is a different exercises. Okay, so if yes, it was showing something else actually. So if you go there,
Yeah. So this field here,
uh,
it looks like um, there this user ID, email, last name, first name,
hmm,
manager.
hmm,
Um, this is not. I don't. I'm
uh,
trying to get the.
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, I got you.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
actually this is a recent one. There is something difference between the document and little bit because it's a new upgraded version in the system. Okay. Also, there
Yeah.
is something called switch to previous import version. There is another version also. You can see in the top, right?
Okay. Okay.
Whatever I'm showing you, it is with the latest templates and all. Okay.
Yeah.
So here there is another option, switch to previous import version. There is a little bit difference. Hmm. You can see like this.
Okay.
Okay, so we have option to choose file and all these things we do have. Download a
Yeah.
blank CSV template. So here we have a direct option to import employee data. Okay,
Okay.
so here those kind of options you'll be getting like this.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so here this is one of the option. Another options we do have. Let's see. mm, User. Huh. So you can see I have also written here user data file, right? whenever I'm
Yeah.
seeing user data file, there are
Yeah.
certain two options I'm getting again. Import extended user information, export extended user information. Okay.
Yes.
So if we go there inside this, hmm, so you will be finding like this. Okay. Like what kind of information again you will be needing. Okay. So like personal information, train information, background information, and you can download the import file template from here. Okay. So I will,
Okay.
let me download it again. So if I
So do we
download it,
do we do we understand? I don't understand why they're using extended use. What is
huh,
the meaning of
I will
extended
come to
use?
that. I will come to that.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
be downloading
Okay.
both the file. This is the downloading data import file template, import
Yeah.
extended user data file. Extended means some
Okay.
more information which is not covered in the initial template. Okay.
Oh.
So
Okay.
let me, I think it's some error I got. One or more fields are empty, all fields are required. Okay. Import extended user data file. Okay, let me try. Okay, I'm getting some error. I'll be checking this
Okay.
one and
Yeah.
let you know. But the file which I have downloaded, it looks like very similar to that. Just a minute. Huh. So you can see, but here we are having a lot of data. Okay. So
Okay.
whatever recipe was saying, right? So you do not have an explanation, but here we do have lot of field. Out of this, 11 fields are actually mandatory. There are so many fields you can see: relocation, assignment ID, impact of
Yeah.
loss comments, system source. So many things are there. And out
Yeah.
actually the guide which I'm having, okay, the THR80, it is as per the little older, but whatever system I'm showing, it is an updated one. System is
Yeah.
updated one, but the guide is not yet updated. It will take some time. SAP has not
Okay.
updated that one. Okay, so but there is no conceptually there is no difference. Only some few minor changes we have done. Means SAP has done rather. Okay, so here you can see the template more or less similar only. The nationality, data, position, user ID, almost very similar options we do have. And here we have very similar depending upon the UI is little bit changed. So do not get confused. Just try to understand the concept here, like what I'm trying to do. Okay. So I will just now go back to the admin center again. Let me now go back to the import data again.
Yes.
So here again, we have different types of entity here. Okay.
Yes.
Suppose we have, so we have seen extended there by downloading a template. Okay. Suppose I would like to have an entity for the downloaded template for extended data or more data. Okay. So we will be having something called extended import. Okay.
Okay.
So if I
Yeah.
go to the extended import, then if I
Hmm.
download generate template for this, so it will be having some additional information. So suppose
Okay.
there are some, after the employee joins the organization, you would like to fill up those data. You can see a lot of additional information. Okay, so let me open that Excel. Okay, so it looks very similar to that, the second one which I have shown to you, right? Okay, so same template remains the same. So more, so there can be some almost very similar template. Okay, but the look and feel wise, you will be finding it much better. Okay, so you can see
Okay.
this is the look and feel. Previously, the whichever I was showing is little
Yes.
different, but the look and feel only changed, but almost very similar concept. Okay, so but you have to understand, like whenever you are having such kind of template, you have to understand like which entity you are going to fill up. Okay, so like suppose you would like to have some update all the let's say pay component, recurring pay component, non-recurring. So here you can think of your recurring payment is your info type, which one, 14, right?
14.
and,
Yeah.
and non-recurring, so
15.
your one-time payment, right? That is your
Yes.
non-recurring info type 15.
15. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so those kind of think of, you can think of. Okay, so here again, suppose I'm choosing this one, and you will be having, there is something called purging. Okay, so data purge and something called incremental load. Okay, so you have to understand what is the difference between these two. Okay, suppose I would like to delete, remove those some data. Okay, so full
Okay.
purge means it will
Yeah.
completely remove or delete entire thing. But if you're doing an incremental means on a sequential means few, not everything. Okay, so that you can understand from here. We'll be learning more about it. Fully what is full pause, incremental load, and all this terminology will we have to come across. Okay, that will be learning. But whenever you are having specific field, suppose I'm going for a field called email information. Okay, so in this case also, I'll be having like this kind of a data, like full purge or incremental load. And for that, again, I have to download a template first. Okay. So anything which, so whenever you're going for such kind of thing, you have to download all the template in the beginning. Suppose I'm going for email. Okay. So email again is for an email, we have a very simple, like email address we can have, or we can say is primary. Okay. So like, this is also a field is required. Suppose you are having a 2 to 3 emails, okay, whether it is a primary email ID or not. Okay, so
Yeah.
simply you have to click generate template, and that template will be downloaded in your system. Then after that, you fill up those,
Okay.
then you can upload that. Upload will be
Okay.
another field. I will showing that. So we have very simple option like for email, like email address, email type, person ID means employee ID, and is primary or operation. So these are the different fields we do have here. Okay.
So
So
the organization will populate the columns.
yes, yes, yes. So
Okay.
basically, whenever I'll be explaining the workbook, okay, so there I'll be talking about all these fields. So during your
Yeah.
requirement gathering, you can
Yeah.
ask to the customer what are the information they would like to upload. Suppose they may not want is primary option because they will be
Okay.
only maintaining the only official email ID. Okay, so then they
Yes.
may not need is primary. Okay, but many of the organization they also maintain additional email ID because in the future, suppose the employee is leaving, so that same employee ID will be collected before only for during your separation process and all. Okay, for so generally organization keep it, but the idea is you have to have these are the different functionalities we do have related to the import employee data. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so any questions here?
No. Is there for the content of the columns? Is there? You say anyway. We'll go through that later. Is there a format for the contents?
Format for the
The content of each column, would there be a specific way, a specific format for those information?
yes, yes. So for each and every entity, whatever I'm selecting here, each is having actually a specific format. Okay. So like suppose say out of this job history, in job history only you would like to populate only, there are so many things are there. Okay, but only 5 or 10 field customer has asked, then only that particular template only fill up. Although we had
Yeah, what I mean is, once you got the template,
hmm,
are there rules on how the information should be presented in the templates?
hmm. Okay,
Do you?
that means okay. So you are saying how to fill up this, right? Okay, so those
Yes.
things we'll be discussing in the workbook. Okay, so in the
Okay.
workbook
Okay.
we'll be having options like how many, which field will be having how many characters. Okay, maximum, what is the maximum limit of that particular field? Okay, so those details will be discussed there. Okay, so we'll
Okay.
be discussing those things there. So do not worry
Okay.
about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is regarding those importing options, and here we have also an option for monitoring a job. Okay, suppose you are updating a particular template and you would like to monitor. Okay, so here from here you can monitor those specific job. You can see there are so many jobs are running, and you can see also the job status of those particular job. So everything whatever you are uploading, generally it will be going through a job. Okay, so you can see there are so many things. Okay, like a time account, MDF, whether that is completed or not, and also who has submitted the user ID and when it was submitted, when it was completed. Okay, and also you check the status. Okay, whether it is a success or fail. Okay, suppose in case of LSMW or BDC, whatever in the on-premise we are using, so if you have written a program very well, so at the end you will be also getting a status, um, like how many errors were there, is there any warning message, or is there in all the records are uploaded successfully, those kind of messages. But here in SuccessFactors it is very much inbuilt. Okay, so you do not have to write any programs. Directly after uploading, you can download the status from here, Like if suppose I'm downloading the status, so this
Okay.
is for an account for time account. Okay, so I can see go to the particular record of this status, and it is applicable for all kind of jobs, not only for upload or download, import or export. So you can see, can you see the download
Yeah.
status? Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you can see like for this annual leave, how many for this particular user, that user ID when it was uploaded. Okay, whether it is
Okay.
created or not. Okay, so so those are all created. That means there is no error. In case any error, it will say that what is the error message. Okay,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that you can get in the column number K. That is error reason. Okay, so this is very user friendly when it comes to the troubleshooting and all. So
Okay.
these are all inbuilt. You do not have to create anything. Okay.
Okay.
So this is regarding the monitoring of the jobs. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'll go back. So this is already, we understood how to import and how to fill up a template and how to do that. So you can try that. So this is an exercise for you. You can uh, add some employee and you can try to edit something and you can import that. And another option we do have something called employee export. Okay.
Yeah.
So second one is employee export. This is the one. If I go to this, here again, very similar to that, we have two options here. Export template, export user file. Okay, so export external 360 data at present we're not discussing because this is something related to the PMGM module. Okay,
Okay.
so PMGM module we have a 360-degree evaluation, right, for performance. So that
Yeah.
is we're not
Yeah.
discussing now. That is
Yeah.
so at present we'll be focusing on these two area only: export template and export user file. Suppose also before that we do have some other options also, like some filtering criteria is also there. Specify export option, only valid users it should be selecting. Okay, and similarly we do have specify character encoding. So this is as usual standard one we'll be using English US. And specify compensation data set is not required as of now because suppose I would like to download the compensation data as well. Okay, so then we can use this one. Hmm. Then suppose I'm going to export the template. Let me first export the template, how it looks like. Hmm. So here you can see those fields. So user directory, whatever I was talking about, status, user ID, username, first name, last name. Okay, so these are the different options we do have, very similar to the same file which we have already seen. And also we have some custom file, custom field options here you can see, right? So custom 01, custom 02. Suppose you have customized certain things in your SuccessFactors Employee Central, additional field, which is not in the standard. Okay, up
Hmm.
to 15 fields they have given. Okay, so you can utilize this field to any kind of customization to import or export any kind of custom specific field. Okay, that you can
Okay.
choose to use this template. Otherwise, there is another option we do have, export user file. Okay, so what is this? We
Yeah.
like
There was a column there called in that previous file.
Mhm.
There's a column there called proxy. What was that?
Okay, proxy, right? Proxy means suppose so you are absent in your organization, instead of who like to proxy. Okay, who like to on behalf of you, who will be responsible for all those kind of delegations. Suppose you are a manager, right? And you are going for a leave for 5 days. So whoever is
Oh,
applying leaves or anything, in that your absence, who will be going to approve that? Okay, in case those kind of
yeah.
scenarios are
Yeah.
there, then you can use those concept. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So now here we'll be seeing, so this is a file which you are having. Let's say we have downloaded this file. Now let me open that. You can see now this is a standard template user file which says what are the employees we are having in our system. Okay, that we have downloaded now. So that is the proper meaning of appropriate meaning of the exporting a file, right? So let's see. This file you understood, this is actually exporting a file. So whatever previously I've shown, that is an import one. And let's say we are having your User ID, let me filter here. We will try to see our file. Let user ID. Let me put SF001. So this is our user ID. You can see I have created for you and other people SF series. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Suppose let's say we are selecting these
Yes.
two at present I'm using. So now this is a perfect example of
Yeah.
whatever the ID I have created, okay, for you. So this is our user ID,
Okay.
and you're having first name, last name, whatever, email ID, manager. So if I'm not having any manager assigned, by default it takes no manager. You can see no underscore manager, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So suppose I'm not having
Yes.
HR, by default it is says no underscore HR, but this field should be filled. Okay. So it is a mandatory field which I was talking about. Those now you can relate to it. Okay, that let me go to the file. You can see this UDA export. Okay, this will not come in your import file. Now you understood, right? Why it is showing those 11 fields are mandatory.
Yes.
Okay, so in this file says this is a UDF export file, and here we will be seeing those options like those 11 fields. So you can starts with your status, user ID, username. Very it is very look similar to the file which I am is the same as which I am showing now. Okay, so
Okay.
it says required field, and all these fields now you can relate to it. The UDF has 11 required fields: status, user ID. Okay, the sequence is very similar to that which I have shown to you, username and all. And regarding this manager and HR, we have clearly understood that no manager is
Yes.
used to describe. Suppose you are having not you are testing a system, so you do not have at present any manager, or you do not have any HR. Okay, but you can't leave that blank. Okay, so let's say if the company chooses not to assign an employee with an HR representative, many of the companies suppose they are not having a designated one-on-one employee to HR. Okay, so they may leave this field, but technically they have to mention no underscore HR. Okay, so that is an SAP. Okay, from a success factor point of view, you have to take care of it, and it is really coming under user data file, export file only. Okay, so is it clear? So this template you understood clearly? Time zone, default
Yeah.
local.
Yeah. The some of this compulsory fields or columns they are common to both export and import.
So you'll be finding most of them are common, but whenever I'm doing for import, it is very specific for a particular field. Okay, so
Yeah.
suppose I'm having only email ID, so I have a different template. For a
Yeah.
phone information, I have a different template. For your emergency contact, we do have a different template. Okay, but
Okay.
whenever you are going for this kind of UDF export, it has most of the information. Okay,
Yeah.
so generally this is
Okay.
the most frequently used. You can directly use this. And up to you. And also it has a flexibility. Suppose as I was saying, there are 15 custom fields. Okay, and many of the customer go for that. Okay, so like it is not like every customer will be happy with the standard one, whatever their SAP is providing. Many times they have their custom fields requirement. Even in success SAP also we do that, right? We have to create custom info type for employees wherever it is required. Okay, for that reason SAP has given, success factor has given us 15 custom fields which I was showing to you. So those 15 custom fields can be utilized as and when required. Okay, so to bring those data, so we can utilize it. Okay, it is clear.
Yeah. This is clear. If I was moving data from
Huh,
on-premise to success factors,
huh.
will this will any of these be useful?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so that is basically it's a project itself. Whenever you are basically it's the implementation only. So basically after implementing the basic baseline configuration of Employee Central or a platform, we have a data migration approach. So in that data migration or the cutover activity, so in the workbook, whatever you have filled, your customer has asked, these are the fields we would like to capture in SuccessFactors as well. And there can be
Hmm.
possible, right, some of the information they do not want to take it to success factor. Okay, so in those cases, you have to capture those things in the workbook, whatever fields they require in success factor, and accordingly, you can ask, you can prepare the template accordingly, then share the template with the HR, then they will be update the data, and you will be uploading those data during the initial phase of your implementation or the data
So
migration.
once you produce this template,
Huh.
the main function you are going to use then will be just to import.
Yes, yes. So once it
Okay.
is done, simply you have to upload that. Okay,
Yes.
so you have to upload that file. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we can
Is upload the same thing as import?
exactly. So import you'll be doing
Okay.
through the same. Okay, so what are the activity you can do in the UDF? So you can see in this adding new users. Okay, you can add new users. Suppose you'd like to change user data, you can use this. Or suppose few people, suppose there is offboarding or few employees left the organization, you can inactivate those users. Okay, so
Okay.
simply you have to choose this kind of options. Most frequently you'll be using in this three scenario: adding new user, changing user data, or inactivating any user using the UDF. Okay, so for that reason, it is very popular. This terminology UDF, we call it user data file export file. Okay, so these are the different things you can do with the UDF. And now you have an option, as I was saying, what is an user data file import? So same, the reverse thing, like after you export, then we go for, actually I have explained import first, then export. I could have explained
Yes.
export first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, import is nothing but basically whenever after upload means understanding the same thing. So I have already made in the system that employee import, okay, where I have shown simply you have to upload your UDF there. Okay, so same thing. So they explain the same thing here. Okay, so very simple, like you can okay, you can go to the directly, I'm going to success factor, and from that, as I am having two options. This is regarding export, and another one is the import one. Okay, so import is called import employee data. Okay, suppose I am going here again, so you can see import employee data. The same template, you can whatever you filled up, you can upload that using this particular options. Okay.
Yeah. Before we import from,
Hmm.
okay, uh, just a quick, just to clear my mind,
Yeah.
before you import from on-premise, you have to do some data mapping.
Data mapping that you will be doing in your workbook, or you are, suppose you are having a data template. Okay, so
Okay.
in those
Okay.
cases, but in success factor you do not have to do anything. Okay, so
Okay.
basically let's say you are doing for employee central payroll, it is required. Okay, because the employee central payroll will depend upon still the on-premise system. So in those
Yes.
cases there is something called code value mapping, we do that. But for success
Okay.
factor, employee central directly system will understand. So address means you have to take information from what from your old, SAP HCM, copy those info type 6, then put them in the address template. Okay, then
Okay.
you upload
That's
that
all.
or
Yeah.
import
Okay.
that file. Okay, but those kind of
Okay.
mapping you can do in your workbook. Okay, so whenever I'll be explaining the workbook, I will be discussing those things. Okay,
Okay.
or will be understanding those things. Okay, but from a
Yeah.
template point of view, it is very easy. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so it is clear up to this.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So after this, now we'll be understanding there is another concept called manage users. Okay. So now we have understood these things. There is something called manage users. So let me go to the again update user information. Manage users, where it is. Manage employee groups. Okay, somehow this option is not coming. Let me check here. Manage.
Yeah. Manage user tasks. Is that the one?
No, 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 no. Actually, it is. Sometimes what happens, SAP keeps on changing some of the terminology also a few
Yeah. Yeah.
times. So you will be getting little VP manage user task. It is something different, not this one which actually I was looking for. This option is not coming for me. Manage users. Let me check. Okay, admin center, user management, manage users. Okay. This is regarding permission, manage responsible user, update user information, edit employee, edit correction, manage employee groups, manage. Okay. So, okay, so let me check this one. Why this option is not coming? Maybe some permission issues or something like that.
Yeah.
Initiating manager changes from the management user manager users or existing users. Okay. So what they are saying, look at the manage employee sections.
What of this add users? If you can you find that?
So this is, or you can use it like add new user. Let me check it. So add new user, definitely you can do it. Let me check.
Yeah.
So initially we are having these options, add in new employee also. This is actually similar to your PA40. Okay. So
Yeah.
adding a
Okay.
new
Yeah.
employee,
Yeah.
and suppose you're
Yeah.
hiring someone for a fixed term, like a contractual term, then you can choose this option. Okay.
Yeah.
The last one is for the onboarding. So adding a new hire for the onboarding process. So
Okay.
we'll be just, this is add new employee. This is also an exercise, but it's very simple. Okay. So it is similar to your PA40 transaction. Okay. So what exactly we do here? Very similar, and it is interactive. So like suppose I'm hiring someone from, let's say, 1st of March, right?
Mhm.
So simply I will choose the company name here. So what you can do, and for you can, whenever you are into such hiring, you can create
Yeah.
your company. Okay, so I'll be telling you how to create all those things. You create your
Okay.
company, you create your event reason. Okay, event
Yeah.
reason is nothing but your action reason. Okay,
Action reasons.
so
Yes, that's right.
like you're hiring. So
Yeah.
why you are hiring? Due to
That's
expansion
right.
of your company or due to
Yeah.
some vacancy. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's me hire someone for this company. I'm not sure which, then event reason, you can see there are so many reasons, and these reasons you can
Yes.
configure. Okay.
Yes.
So just like we do in the PA40 transaction, right, in the backend. So here
Yes.
you can see, suppose due to some merger and acquisition, somebody is hired. Then I can see is acquired employee. Okay.
Yes.
And for hiring template, we have a standard. Let's say I'm choosing the standard template. And this thing,
Yeah.
suppose you do not want, you can also remove it. How to remove it?
Yes.
We'll be learning in the Employee Central. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is after doing this, simply this is a basic data. So this is, you can see all the fields are mandatory here. Okay.
Yes.
So now I will continue from here. So after that, I do have more further information like the first name, last name. Okay. So the salutation. Let me put some salutations here like this. First name. Let me put some random name. John. Let's see, randomly I'm putting something. Then you can fill up all these details, place of birth,
Yes.
date of birth. Okay, so place of, so many things are there, but here everything we can control, right? So biographical
Okay.
information, like suppose in your workshop during your discussion with the customer, you have decided which are the fields to be mandatory, which are how many fields, which fields you do not want. Okay, and
Okay.
the person ID, this will be here. Actually, again, we do have, just like we do have external and internal, right, in the number range. Similarly, we do have also here at present, it has not been configured in such a way. Otherwise, this person ID can be generated also by the system.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and let me put some random thing here. Only I'm filling it up all the mandatory field. 29 US employer person ID. Let me put something randomly. One thing you have to remember, in success factor we support both number and alphanumeric also, but it is not
Okay.
recommended to use alphanumeric. Okay, why?
Okay.
Because suppose you are going for employee central payroll implementation, okay, along with
Yes.
the EC, employee
Yeah.
central payroll is, we are having a backend is on premise, it will not support any alphanumeric. Okay,
That is true.
so
Yeah.
so for that reason, even if success factor support, it's not recommended. Some of the clients they go for fancy alphanumeric employee ID, but it is not recommended. It's not a best practice. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is just for information. Then if I click continue, you can see like okay, because I entered 1 2 3 4, right? So employee
Yes.
system is saying, this is a very nice example, I will say. So
Yeah.
in the system, there is another employee who is having the same ID. Okay.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
system is having a duplicate check also. Okay.
Yeah.
So it will be giving an opportunity for you to whether you would like to duplicate check, ignore the matches means it will override, it will create a duplicate ID for you. Okay, so before
Okay.
that, let me do what I will do. So simply I will just go to ignore matches. Okay, this person, then finally it is a hard stop. Okay, this person is already existing. So it is saying me, please enter a new unique value. Okay, so initially first it told me that duplicate check, then it gave me an error. Okay, so what I
Yeah.
can do, so it will not happen in a real system. Okay,
Yeah.
basically mostly you will be having
Yes.
this will be auto generated. Okay, so this is just a demo system, so I will just put it some another number. Okay, now there is no duplicate. Now I
Yeah.
can proceed further. So this is regarding the initial information. So you can see
Mhm.
whatever we have filled. Now it has been, this is comes under identity. So this is an identity. This is a green tick now. Okay, this is
Mhm.
one particular, let's say, section. Then it asks for the another set of data, like it is comes under personal information, and before it is filled
Mhm.
up, it is grayed out. Okay, so once only you are filling all the information, then it will be ticked. Okay, so let me put it something like this. So I'm not going to fill up everything, only
Yeah.
whatever essential. United States, this is my English, US, challenge status no. So again, suppose you like to fill up more fields, there are some additional, so 5 more fields. Okay. So any kind of attachment you would like to upload here. Okay. So those
Yeah.
attachment can be anything, like it can be some certificate, some can something specific to visa. Okay. Something related to your, okay. And free meal, actually, again, they have given, this is a custom field that someone has created. Okay. Otherwise, depending upon your organization, it will require. So I'm not going to fill up everything, but this is the
Yeah.
simplest information, like what are the things you require. Okay, so like email again you can configure. So like business, personal, and email address, and we call it as a pick list. Okay, the drop down value, whatever you are seeing it here. Okay, we call it a pick list in success factor. That is also a
Yes.
new terminology in which you do not have in on-premise. We call it drop down value in the on-premise, but in success factor we call it pick list. You can maintain all these things. What are the possible values? Similarly, phone type, again, we have phone type, business, fax, home. Hmm. So these things also can be configured. So I'm not going to fill up everything. So you can see the other different possible fields we do have, like address, dependents, primary emergency contact. Similarly, after that, you will, after completing this section, you will be moving forward to job related information. Okay. So after filling this again, you have to go fill up this compensation related information. Okay. So I'm just saving this draft. Okay. So you can continue or you can try a new employee. So you
Yeah.
can see like your changes were saved successfully. Suppose I would like to come back again, then I can start from the same beginning. And it is coming under employee files. This section, this is add, how to add a new employee, or you can say
Yeah.
the add user also. Okay. So okay,
Yes.
similarly, so this is regarding your add a new user. And this screen is a little bit older. Okay, so for that reason, some of the terminology you may find difficult. Okay, but not worry about it. Okay, so some of things looks like this is an old screen only, whatever. Yeah, the template, they have not updated this one. Okay, so this is we have understood. Yeah, so this is an important again. What is an assignment ID? Okay, so this is something. Okay, we have a different IDs here in success factor. Okay, and we have to understand the difference between these 4 things. We have something called person ID, another is UUID, another user ID, and assignment ID. So we never had in on-premise, we do not have such kind of a detailed way. Okay, so for this, you have to understand what is a person ID. Okay, so person ID is always an external ID. Okay, and it will be a unique identifier for the person in the employee central. Okay, and what it does, so basically it has only a person at a time. An employee has only one person ID throughout their life in the same company. Okay, so because it is ID associated with the same person. Can this ID be changed? Yes, it can be changed. And there is another thing called UUID. Okay, so what is this difference? So this identifier, what does it do? When a person data is created, so it is introduced integrating personal data in Employee Central with other modules. Okay, let's say you are implementing other modules. Okay, in Success Factor. Okay, so what does it do? UUID, it will be stored at a database level only, and it is not visible on the UI. So it is a backend. Okay. So one UUID is associated to one or more user ID and assignment ID. So this is a kind of a relationship you can understand. Okay. So from a understanding relationship understanding point of view, okay, UUID and person ID, they will be having one-on-one relationship. So these two, UUID and person ID, but user ID and assignment ID are in a one-to-one again relationship. Okay, so these things, so you it a little confusing from here, so we will be understanding more detail if I go to this the next section, that is your user ID. User ID means user sys ID, and again it is basically an identifier of user identity. So you will be I'll be sending you one another note for you. Okay, so
Okay.
basically you will be understanding from that more detailed way, but do not get confused, mostly we'll be using this user ID only. Okay, whatever the SF001 you are using, right? So those are mostly user ID only. Okay, and user ID still exists, and we recommend that you adopt it for system integration. Assignment ID, it will what it will be used, it will be takes place of user ID in the UI only. Okay, user interface only. Whenever you're using that kind of tools, okay, so then it will be used in this. But do not get confused so much thing here about it. Okay, so where exactly it is used and of in which cases which you'll be using. Okay, so that will be explained here. Some of the couple of things. Okay, employee export we understood, right? Download the basics in that we understood. Employee import also we understood. But manage users is basically that I have shown to you by add a new employee. So that is the thing. Couple of you terminology little bit you will not be finding because SAP doesn't update this kind of document immediately. It will take some time to them update, but in system they have updated those things. Okay, a couple of things so you may get confused. Do not get confused in that. Hmm. So another thing, how to validate your user data. Okay, so this is an input and information.
How to?
Yeah, any question?
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Okay, okay. So I will now go into another tool called check tool. Okay, so the tool name is check tool. You can see the check tool here. So in the check tool section, so there are many application. Can you see the check tool?
Yes.
Okay. So here let me put like user management. There is a section called user management. Hmm?
Okay.
So if I would like to see, is there any error in my user related information? Okay. So I can check these things. Okay. So what are the things I will be checking here? Duplicate email address should not be there in my system. Non-case sensitive duplicate usernames must not exist. Okay, these two things we are having, and you can see in the right hand side 54 issues means there are 54 duplicate email, 15 issues found. Okay, suppose if I'm running the check, then system will say now it is running, and system will again check the current status, and it will say how many issues are there. Okay, so in this way you can also do a sanity checking using this kind of a tool. Okay,
Yeah.
so it will take some time, but this check you can do like similarly for password settings also. Any kind
Okay.
of email ID is not unique. Okay, or any kind of user hierarchy. Again, there is no manager, no second manager is existing. These are the different configuration related or data related checking also you can do. Okay,
Okay.
so in by running this tool, you will be understanding this kind of a data from a data point of view or from a sanity check point of view. There are many other options, but from a user management point of view, this tool can be used. Okay, so it will take some time, not be going detail about it. So after running, it will give a report. You can download that report, how many issues are there. Okay, so if I go to the issues at present, it will say for this employee, this is the issue. Okay, so detail user level issues, it will show those things. Okay. So this is more interactive again. So we never had such kind of tools in SAP HCM.
Yes.
Basically, if you'd like to have, always you have to download a report and all those things. But here we have all those readily available. Okay. So you can
Okay.
see after executing, it says again, for this many employees, we have duplicate ID. Okay, so it
Mm.
gives us a detailed, okay. So you can see for these three employee, three ID, we are having this email. So for these two ID, you are having this email. Okay. So you have to check all these things. It is saying. Okay. So this is how about it. Okay.
Yep.
So after understanding, this is clear, right? How to use this
Yes.
check tool and all. Hmm.
Yeah. So at the end, is this the end result for viewing the output for the check tool?
Yes. So basically, after uploading data and all importing, basically, I will not use the term upload.
Yeah.
Rather, I will use the import. Okay. After importing those data, you can run this check tool to understand if there is any check. So you can see in my email ID, like because I have used my email ID
Yeah.
against so many user ID 3367
Yes.
ID. Okay, so if you can
Yeah.
see, it is already clearly says that it is not a correct one. You should not do like this. It should be
Yes.
a one-on-one mapping. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
system point of view, it is from data sanity check point of view, it will say these are
Yeah.
the actually not correct one. So it is red,
Okay.
flagged as a red color also, you can see.
Yes.
Okay. So in this way, you can select, you can use this particular tool. And this tool actually, which I was saying, this is a platform functionality. It's not specific to your Employee Central. So for that reason, we are covering this before going to Employee Central. Okay. So you can
Okay.
use this tool for other modules as well, like position management, reporting, recruiting, succession
Ah. Okay.
planning. Okay. For
Yeah.
any other
Yeah.
modules, you can see which are available here. Okay. So you can use this particular tool to understand. So if you have a solid background or solid understanding of this, how to run
Yeah.
this check. It is very simple. Okay, you can also download the report also, or suppose you'd like to send it to the HR who is responsible for correcting the data. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can simply
Yeah.
download this. Suppose HR is not having access to check tool, you can download this and you can send it to the HR that they have to correct those details. So
Okay.
this is the easy way.
Yeah.
So after understanding the check tool, now let me go to, if anything is missed out, let me check. Data chains, management, manage users. So this one I need to
Center.
check it. Why is manage users not saying, or is it replaced by something else? I need to check
Okay.
that. And this is well understood. Managing user information we have seen, external user
Yeah.
information we have seen, and
Yeah.
this exercise is also like import export. Whatever I've explained you. So now
Yeah.
we are having four exercises which you have already done that. Okay, so like
Okay.
I have not uploaded or imported data. So that is I'll
Yeah.
be giving you an opportunity to do that. Okay, so I
I'll do
just show
that.
you the direction like where exactly you will be doing. Okay, so there is
Okay.
an option. So
Yeah.
exercise 21 is all about exporting an existing data file which we have already did it. Okay, like
Yeah.
the template which I have shown you, not template, the data rather. Okay, which is having we exported those existing data file.
Sure.
So similarly, we understood the next one is modifying. Okay, so modifying is very easy. Like after downloading the data, simply whatever modification you require, you just modify those changes. And the exercise number 23 is importing the data file. After updating those data in the data file, simply upload that using the import file option. Okay, so that you can do it using this exercises. Any
Okay.
questions before we move on?
Modifying would just be to maybe correct a name or
Uh,
another. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. What are the data? So modifying
Yeah.
the
Data.
data
Okay.
means
Yeah.
suppose let's say somebody's last name is wrong while filling it
Yes.
up. Okay.
Yes.
So somebody's email ID is incorrect. Okay. So this is a set of data you are having, let's say. Okay. And you
Hmm.
would like to change to something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you
Yeah.
simply
Okay.
change those details and you again update that. So that is all about it.
Okay.
So you'll be
Sure.
having in every exercises, you have a question and also you have a solution also. Solution is also they have given how to do that. Okay.
Okay.
And business example there. It is very easy to follow this document. I really like it.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
very
is
good. It's very good.
very step-by-step process. We never had such kind of detailed documentation in on-premise.
Okay.
So this is regarding modifying a data file, then importing. This is again simple. Simply use that after operating the file, simply update using the import option. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is regarding this exercise number 23. Then the next one is this one is again a small topic related to the email notification. Okay. So in
Okay.
SuccessFactor, we have mostly two varieties of notification. One is event triggered, another is administrator triggered. So what is an event trigger? Let's say when a particular form is filled up, completely filled up. Okay, let's say whether you are filling a particular form. Let's say we are updating a marital status, or suppose you are changing some a couple of document you are uploading. So after that, completing that particular field, the form will go to someone else depending upon the configuration or the business process in your organization. Okay, so those kind of things will be coming under event triggered, because after completing an event, or that will be going to the particular person or to approve. But there is also another type of notifications, like writing a welcome message for all the people, new employee who are joining the organization. As an administrator, you have to trigger that notification. Okay, that is called an administrator triggered notification. Okay, so these are two different type of notifications which do have exist. So how to do that? How to check all these things? So that we'll be doing from the company settings email
Okay.
notification template. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that, I will let me go to the company setting. Company setting is this one. You can see.
Yeah.
So from company setting, I do have email notification template setting. Okay. So there are so many things that you can see. Okay, which we will be
Yeah.
learning one by one. Okay, but not in this module. Like there are certain things like we do have which is related to the outside your uh, employee central. Okay, like
Yeah.
we have performance management, all these things will not be seeing, but whatever is essential will be showing, whatever is relevant for our employee central, we'll be seeing those things. But regarding email also, we do have two things: email notification template setting, and another is email services. Okay, so
Okay.
if I go to the email notification template setting first, you can see there are varieties of email notification which is already inbuilt. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Left hand side, and it is not only for your employee central, for all other modules. Okay, so you can see 360 means these are all performance related, performance management related. Okay, similarly we do have, mostly we use this welcome message notification, people who are joining for the first time, they're in their onboarding. So suppose, let's say welcome message notification, I'm going for this template. Let me check this template. As soon as I choose this template, in the right hand side you can see it says welcome to the performance manager. Instead of writing performance manager, you can mention your company name. Okay, performance manager is actually a success factor terminology. Okay, so
Yeah.
instead you can write your what is the subject line looks like, you can customize that.
Okay.
Similarly, and here in the email body, you can mention all this detail. Okay, so like username, password, anything additional information, or you would like to embed some say CEO message or video message. Okay, that URL you can give depending upon your organization, and you can ask for this template to the HR during your implementation. Then any field or anything, any particular file you'd like to share with the employee, suppose some additional PDF file which the employee should go through, okay, during the day one, in the day one of the organization. Much more details are in the onboarding module, but whatever the minimal information is required, you can send it from here. Okay, so then that mail will be triggered to those all the new joinees in the organization. Okay, so this is a simple example which you can use. But as I was saying, email notification template, it is a platform functionality for all other modules of SuccessFactor also. They use this particular format. Yeah, there are so many things you can see, right? Like a
So,
trigger related
so
to the
why,
time of.
why,
Hmm,
why are there so many that are highlighted?
hmm. I didn't get a question. Is it a question or?
No, I was trying to say there are many of them that are highlighted or
Uh-huh.
activated.
Hmm.
So is that because there are many modules, or
Yes,
how
yes,
do I
yes.
know which one of these is just
Hmm.
for EC, for instance?
Actually, there is no segregation. You will not be such finding any
Oh,
segregations here. Okay, so you have to, from the context only, you have to understand whether it is which module.
oh,
Suppose I am saying onboarding, that means it is actually specific to onboarding module. Okay, and some
oh,
certain notification you can't deactivate. It's already inbuilt. Okay, so it's already it's
oh, okay,
always activate. And related to the
okay,
time off, it is optional because some of the companies may go for other modules outside success factor for time off, like
okay,
Chronos or R4. Suppose they are using EC time off, Employee Central time off, then they can go for these options. Okay. Similarly, for like sport award, thank you award, so many things are there. Benefit notification. So this is actually platform functionality. So whatever is
okay,
required, you can activate whatever is relevant for your organization. Then accordingly, you can utilize those. It is as simple as that. Okay. Email notification. Nothing much.
okay.
Only thing is you have to change here. Yeah, and also you have to train the user or train the administrator
Yeah,
whenever you are using something, like you can change this here from here. Okay.
okay.
Other than that, we have other settings also. If I go, you can also create your custom template and you can use it. Okay, whatever is required for you. Okay,
Oh, oh,
so you can
okay,
upload that file here. Okay, so work with, you can see there is a choose file, upload template file. You can create your own template and you can upload that file also. Okay, so those kind of options we do have. Hmm.
when you are doing a custom one, how do you point it to the module you want to use it for?
Hmm. I didn't get you question.
No, if you are doing a custom notification,
Hmm.
if you are doing a custom one,
Hmm.
how do you point it to the module you want to apply it to?
So actually, so that is depending upon the for which module. So again, every module has its own peculiarity. Okay, suppose I'm going for let's say recruiting. Okay, so it has its own thing. Okay, again, if I go
Uh-huh.
for onboarding, it has its own. Okay, but whatever you're putting here directly, though automatically it will take considered as a platform functionality in module. Again, you do not have to redirect to the specific module because many of the modules have their own things. Okay, so you do not have to do those kind of choice. Okay, so those kind of
Oh,
options we do not have. But at a high level, like suppose it's generic. Okay, so whenever I'm saying, as you're talking about, this is a your platform functionality, whatever the
yeah,
most commonly used template, only that you'll be building.
yeah.
Suppose you are having
Okay.
an employee transfer can happen at any time, okay, depending upon your
Yeah.
organization. Okay, that is not very
Oh, okay.
specific to a module for recruit. Generally specialized modules like recruiting, onboarding, LMS, they have their own varieties of templates. Okay, so there are a lot of things are there, but
Okay.
whatever we are discussing, it is at a platform level. Okay, the platform level means mostly these are the, suppose you would like to send a email notification during the birthday of the employee. So it is a very generic one. It's not employee. Mostly it will be considered as a employee central specific, but again it is general one, right? So
Okay.
in this way, you have to turn on, you have to switch, means you can choose this kind of options to have this kind of template. So you can go through this topic. Okay, so like I've already shown to you how to edit the email notification setting by going to
Hmm.
the template. Okay, so we have a similar exercise for here. So how will be changing those details? Okay, so this is regarding this particular. So another thing which I would like to highlight here. Hmm.
Kind of.
Also, you can turn off email notification also. Suppose you like to turn off email notification online. Okay, so how you will be doing it? Suppose you are having so much of notification, just like we do unsubscribe, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, here we do have settings here at an individual level. Suppose HR has done a lot of things, but I do not want all types of notification. I want some specific. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is at the employee level. Suppose I have logged in as Andrew, and
Yeah.
here I can control like send emails to me, read messages in the system. Okay. What kind of things I can do from here. And also another thing which I would like to say, name menu, settings, notification, option, select the option, read messages in the system. Okay. So whenever I'm saying click this one, okay, So what does it do? You will not be getting any email. Rather, only from the success factor only you have to see. From the in the here you can see there is a one, right? So you will be seeing only from the system, but you will not be getting any notification. Okay, you're getting my
Okay.
point.
Yeah, so it's so turn off is only at the individual level.
At the individual level, suppose HR is bombarded with a lot of notification, but you do not want all those things. Rather, you would like to see those kind of notification like this, just like we do in the Facebook or LinkedIn notification, right? We have a, so
Yeah,
here we can see there is a one. Can you see that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is this notification? You here you'll be getting all those kind of notifications. So it is saying me that I have to finish my profile. I have not updated my profile. Okay. So these are the things you can see from here also. Okay. So that way at the employee level you can control that. Hmm. So this is
Okay.
regarding how to turn off a email notification for a particular at an individual level. Okay, we can see that. Okay, so this is we have understood a most frequently used and important topic today. To summarize, managing user
Yeah,
data. We talked about
yeah,
UDF files and all. Then
yeah.
we talked about the email notifications, how to turn off email notifications, what are the different templates available in the email notification. Okay, this is an important topic, so you can practice after your interview is over.
Yeah.
Then in the next session, again, this is a very important topic. We'll be learning about XML. Okay, so there are some other topic like XML details and how to configure people profile. So these two topics will be covering and pick list if time permits. Then these three things we will be learning unit 4. Then we will be moving towards other topic. And some of the topics
Okay.
will be overlapping also. In whenever I'm employee central, I'll be covering again. I will tell that
Quick
yes,
list.
we have covered in the platform. So then at that point of time, I will skip that topic in the employee center because these are all overlapping topics. Most of the topics are
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
For that reason, actually, I'm focusing on this platform functionality more, spending more time here, and we'll be learning in the next session this unit 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll be learning this another session we'll be conducting for MDF. MDF is all about a customization. Okay, how you can
Okay.
customize your objects in Employee Central. Then other
Okay.
than that, unit 6, 7, 8, these are very small. Unit 6 is an important one. Check tool, we have already seen this today. Configuration check tool, right? This is a couple of topics. And 7 and 8 are relatively easier and not so accordingly we'll move on. Okay.
Okay.
So this is for today. Then we will
Th-
meet you again day after tomorrow. And all the
Thank you
best
so much.
for your preparations. And
Yeah. Thank you.